Hello. Yes, sir. Am I audible now? Don't know why my voice was not audible. And yeah, please look into this, sir. We are not audible. I think there must be something issue. Like, am I allowed to do so or not? Yeah. Please kindly speak into the screen also. Hello, we are audible or not?
Hello. Hello. Okay, I got just a response that I'm audible, but I'm not getting anyone response here on the screen. So I would request Mr. Gabriel sir or Dr. Srinivasan, if available, sir, just please respond. Dr. Raj Lakshmi ma'am, are you available?
Ma'am, not audible, ma'am. Ma'am, not audible.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you. So, good morning, one and all present here. A warm good morning to one and all gathered here. It's my pleasure for having an opportunity to welcome this gathering. First and foremost, I would like to welcome a person who needs no introduction, a man known for his wisdom and hard work, who is none other than our most respected CEO, Dr. R. Vanikam. Welcome, sir. I would like to extend a warm welcome to a motivating personality among us, a man of perseverance and knowledge, our respected principal, Dr. R. Muralidharan, RCAS. Welcome, sir. I'm happy to welcome the guest speakers of today's session, Mr. Mukesh Misra, co-founder, IPFIDE Research Amplified at Gujarat. Welcome, sir. I extend a warm welcome to Ms. Pooja Menon, Chief of Operations, IPFIDE Research Amplified at Gujarat. Welcome, ma'am. And a heartfelt greeting to all the delegates, faculties, and the students who have taken time out of their busy schedule to attend today's sessions. So I welcome you all once again. The session over to you, Ms. Violet Beulah, ma'am. Ma'am. Violet Beulah, ma'am. Ma'am, Violet Beulah, ma'am.
Ma'am, am I audible?
Ma'am, am I audible?
Yes, ma'am, you are audible, ma'am.
Thank you. Good morning, everyone, and I extend my warm welcome to all for today's webinar. I find immense pleasure to introducing our chief guest, Mr. Mukesh Mishra and Pooja Menon. Our guest, Mr. Mukesh Mishra, having working as a co-founder at IPFIDE and having more than 8 years of experience with intellectual property rights and industrial designs. and he had secured different certifications in industrial designing as well as 3D modeling design software like PTC, CREO, SolidWorks, CATIA, etc. He had organized more than 100 webinars, seminars and conferences, and give awareness on intellectual property rights to the professors and students for the betterment of the future. He he and his team has filed more than 450 patent files, and they have filed 2000 trademarks, and they got 650 copyrights and more than 1200 prior or done, and they have established 15 IP cells, and they have covered more than 50 cities and more than 100 villages, and they have covered 35,000 students. We are really thankful to him for taking the time out of his busy schedule. Now I'm hand over the session to Mr. Mukesh Mishra. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, ma'am. First, I would like to confirm whether I'm audible or not. Okay, I'm audible, and now I can see Pooja ma'am too on the screen. So welcome, Pooja ma'am. And I would request you to kindly just test your screen first, whether is it shareable or not.
Sir, I have shared the presentation. I hope it's visible.
Yes, ma'am. You are audible to me, and I hope like you are audible to every people present in this meeting, right? Okay. So I think Pooja ma'am, we can start up with our presentation.
Sure.
Okay. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. A very warm good morning to all of you. So let's begin. I think Mukesh sir, IP5 and me are already been addressed in this, like who we are, what we have done, and we have been conducting multiple seminars and webinars from past years since we began IP5. So we would like that you also to be a part of a session where you can understand what intellectual property is, how it can benefit you as an individual, and if you're giving 1 hour of your time, it is very much important for you to understand what you're going to take away from the session. So after this session, you'll be known to multiple factors that is involved in IPR, how it is helpful as an individual, how it can upgrade your portfolio, how as a student faculty it can help in building a better portfolio, getting a better job, being an entrepreneur. All these things will be covered throughout this session. If you have any doubt or query, you can just put it into the chat box, or towards the end we'll have a personal Q&A session so we can address all your query. Okay, so let's begin. Basically, there are two types of property. One is called the intellectual property, other is called the physical property. Now, physical property we all are very well aware of. Like since we were kids, we were always taught that, what do you own? Like आपके पास क्या है? So people usually, even your parents or grandparents will tell you that you have a beautiful house, you have so much land, this is your car, so much gold. All these things are considered to be physical property. We are very well taught that we always need to protect our physical property, right? Like if you buy a beautiful house, you will first get it registered from the government, right? You will not start endorsing it as your own without getting it registered and having a proof of establishment in your name. True. But imagine what we do about our intellectual property. Now, intellectual property means your ideas, thoughts, innovations, methods, designs that you create, which need not be an officially a prototype or a product. It can just be a thought. It can just be an idea. It can just be a design which you just scribbled on a page. All these things are called intellectual property. Now, however careful we are about our physical property, we are very casual when it comes to our intellectual property. Now let's take an example to understand. Suppose you're working on a very good project and suddenly you have a eureka moment. You suddenly realize that the product you're working on is innovative and you can get something good out of the product. Okay, what is the usual thing that you do after you get an idea? It's a human mentality that we'll give a call to a colleague or a friend, because for us it is so much important that somebody should pat our back and say, hey, great work, it's excellent, you should go ahead and pursue it, or you always need somebody to appreciate your work, or somebody to tell you that your work is unique. Has been a mentality for so long. Now, the people whom you decide to share your idea with, you assume them to be a good friend of yours. True? You assume that he or she is standing there to help you out. What if he goes ahead and publish a paper regarding the same in his or her name? Or suppose he gives a call to the media and start discussing about something innovative that he had found. In such circumstances, do you have any proof to stop that person? Do you have any possibility to claim that the work was yours? You were the person who came up with the idea. Do you have any proof regarding the same? Suppose I come to your house, okay, and I start trespassing it, and I'm like, you know what? I love your bungalow. Let's do one thing. Just pack up your bags and leave. From now on, the house is mine. Can I do that? Can I actually, tell people that the work was mine? Basically, I cannot do. Sorry, the house was mine. Basically, I cannot do that. You can actually show me the property papers claiming that the house is yours. But when it came to your idea innovation, suppose I snatch it and publish it in my own name. Do you have any rights to stop me? Currently, you do not have, but IPR, intellectual property right, is a provision designed by the government to protect your intellectual property, like your thoughts, ideas, innovations, methods, design. All these things can be protected under IPR. And IPR has been bifurcated into four sectors: patent, design, copyright, and trademark. Today, we'll be learning about individual, IPR categories, what they protect, and how you as an individual can take benefit out of it. Okay, so the first topic that we'll be discussing is copyright. Now, copyright is very simple. It protects an artistic work. That means all of us, maybe we all are academicians, right? We all are involved into any technical field, but that is not it. Our individuality is defined by the things that we do, right? So many of us may be good dancers, poets, we write, we can design, we can paint, we can photograph, all these things which are which we do for an artistic, which we are known for. People usually call that it's like our hobby or interest. Those things are protected under copyright. Now, it is not just artistic work that is protected under copyright. Suppose you write a research paper, you write a book, maybe you create different presentations to make your student understand a topic easy. You create a software, you create a website. All these things are also considered under copyright. Now, why? Suppose you decide to learn a topic, and there are two different authors who have written regarding the same topics. Okay, there are two different books, so you can refer any of them to understand the topic. Now, one author has written it in a very lucid way, and the other person has made it too complex and too hi-fi to understand. Now, both of the authors will have copyright on it, because copyright protects the expression of the work. That means it does not just protect the idea or the concept, it protects the way, the method in which a topic has been expressed by the author. So you, as a person who decides to write a paper, maybe a book, create a software, a website, an algorithm, all these things can also be protected under copyright. Okay, now the one of the major questions that we usually get when we discuss copyright is, people usually come and ask me, like, this is the world of social media, right? What if I design something, or maybe write a paper, or click a photograph and publish it online? People will anyways come to know that the work was mine. Now, the problem is, when you decide to publish a work, the timestamp which appears on the screen is the date of publication. That means it does not prove that the work was created by you, neither does it prove that you were the first one to come up with that concept. It just proves that you liked the topic and you decided to publish it. Okay, like suppose I'm reading through an article written by Bill Gates, okay, and I loved it. Now I decided to use the same content and publish on my any of my page, maybe my LinkedIn profile, or maybe my Facebook profile. People will definitely understand that this is not a topic that I wrote. It is something that I copied from someone somewhere and published it. But copyright provides a timestamp which proves that the work was created by you and you were the first person to disclose it. Okay, so it helps you to protect the date of creation and the ownership of the work. That is why copyright filing is important.
Extract here.
Now let's take few examples to understand
Yes, ma'am.
like how having a copyright can
हो
help
गया
a person protect it. Okay.
उसी नाम
Now
से फोल्डर
there
में
are
बन
two
गया होगा
images
फिर
on your screen.
फोल्डर्स देखो कहीं पे
Okay,
या डॉक्यूमेंट्स
somebody's
में आया होगा उसी
mic
नाम
is
से अरे
on.
ये
Please, I request you to please mute it. Thank you. Okay, so as we were talking, there are two photographic images on the screen, right? Now, the first image that you can see on your towards your left hand side was clicked by a press media photographer. Now that photographer, was this was the time when Obama sir was campaigning to be the president of USA. Now this image, which you can see on the left hand side, was clicked by a press media photographer. He took it to his agency, created edited that entire image in a beautiful red blue combination and published that created work into multiple newspapers, magazines, online portals just for marketing purposes. Now, during that election time, the council members of Obama sir decided to create new banners and posters to advertise more and to get more votes. So the advertising agency who were provided with the requirement decided to use Obama sir's face into the new campaign posters. See, you do not lack lazy people on this earth, right? So the advertising agency who was given the responsibility of creating the new banners decided to surf through the internet, find a beautiful image, just edit it as required, and to get back to them. So while they were surfing through the internet, they found this beautiful red blue combination image, and they decided to use it. The only hard work they did was they decided to place the word hope under that image. They printed multiple banners and it was all across USA. The media agency who clicked the photograph, edited it for different purposes, saw this. Okay, so one of the person from the media walked into the council office and he was like, "Sir, I'm from the news media channel, and I want to discuss regarding the new banners and posters you have printed across USA." See, it was election time, so any sort of media attention would have been of huge help, right? So a council member walks in and he was like, "Yeah, sure, let's talk in my cabin." They started discussing, and the media guy was like, "Sir, the new banners which you have printed, we want you to remove it right now." The guy who was listening to him was a bit, confused. He was like, "Are you drunk in the morning or something? Do you know where you're standing and what you're asking us to do?" He was like, "Sir, the image which you have used has been created by my agency and we own the copyright of it. Now, if you don't remove it, I'm anyways media. I'm going to go out and scream that the person who wants to be the president of USA does not even follow copyrights. Now, what if tomorrow he becomes the president of USA and he decides to take away our other constitutional rights?" See, it was not a big agenda, but if during election a topic like this comes up, the opposition party gets a better, chance of winning. Obviously they are going to pull these people down. So what did the person who was talking, the council member who was discussing, he came to know that this is going to be a huge fight. So he was like, "Look, I understand your query and I understand what has happened may not be fair to you, but we cannot remove the banners. Anyways, it is kind of our prestige issue, so we are not going to remove it. And we know your media, you want to go out and scream a new news that you received, and you are the victim of whatever has happened. But till the elections are over, we'll ask you to keep your mouth shut and tell us how much it will take." These guys were paid in a huge amount, for sure, just to keep their mouth shut till the elections are over. And after the election, this news was out, but nobody cared about it. Okay, so this is the power of copyright. If you have copyright, not just politician, you can stop any big company from using it. You not just stopping them, but at least earn a revenue out of whatever work you have done. How many of you might have created good work, right? Like during this pandemic, you might have created great presentations, great lecture notes, and published it online free of cost. What if your notes have been referred by other companies or other faculties or other institutes free of cost? So never do it. We are not asking, see, as a faculty, you do not need anybody's permission to use a work, but let nobody else use your work. Okay. So this is an example of which what happens if you're working in a company or you have a company. How serious is copyright infringement? See, as a student, as a teaching faculty, if you use any content for educational purpose, there is no violation. But as soon as you decide to earn money out of it, you start selling a work, you start putting it on a platform which gives you credibility or money, then copyright infringement is a bigger issue. Like for example, we all know TCS, right? Tata Consultancy and Services. We all are very well aware of that company. Now, Epic System is a US based company who are into software development. Okay, so they developed a software which was installed into multiple hospital chains in USA. Now, for the maintenance work, for the background development and all those things, for the customer services, they hired TCS from India. Now, multiple companies in USA do that. Like after the installations are over, they usually hire an Indian company or a Chinese company because they are cost effective. So for the maintenance and taking care of database management, so they hired TCS. Now, whenever a third party company is involved into a project, they have a confidentiality agreement, which usually states that we are going to share our client details, our algorithm, database, confidential data with you of every form. So you are liable to protect it and not to breach it in any form that is possible. See, these agreements are basically signed by the managers in the company. It is signed by every company. US companies don't deal without a confidentiality agreement. So what happened was the people who who signed the agreement were at the managerial level. So they were aware of whatever the terms and conditions are. But the people who came to work were the people at the engineering level, right? The technical people. So they were not aware of the confidentiality or the agreement or any breach that can happen. So the person who was working on this database management was very impressed with the software. He was like, this is something good and can help our Indian hospitals too. So when he came back to India, he decided to develop, gather a team, develop a similar software and establish and get that software set up in all the hospital chains in India. They launched the software under the name MedMantra. Epic Systems came to know about it, and because it was a violation of their agreement, they slapped TCS with an infringement amount, that means a compensation amount of $940 million. So you need to understand that the violation was caused by employees of the company, right? At a very minor level. But at the end of the day, the people who were liable to pay were the company, was the company's owners. So if you are working for a company or you decide to open your own company, please do not copy any content that is visible online. It is a myth that people follow that whatever is available online is free of cost. It is not. Online platforms are a way to present what you have created. It does not mean you can copy what is available. So please be careful whenever you decide to create a commercializing product, not to copy any data. Otherwise, it can create huge infringement problems. And it is not mandatory even to put the copyright symbol when a work is created. So it is not. So you need to take care that you do not copy any work which is online when you're deciding to commercialize it. Otherwise, it can create huge violations. Okay. So here we have prepared a bit of Q&A which can help you to understand this content better. If you have any doubt, towards the end of the session, we'll be having a personal Q&A, but otherwise you can just drop it into the chat box so our experts can keep referring to the same. Okay. So the first question that we have is, what does copyright actually protect? Now, as I told you, copyright do not protect the idea. It does not protect the idea. It protects the expression of the work. That means, suppose I'm a painter and I decide to paint sunset. Now, sunset is not a new idea, but the way I decide to paint it is what is copyrighted. Like suppose if I want to paint sun pink, I can do that. It's an artist's view. And that is why copyright can be filed for anything that is illogical. Everything does not need to have a logic. Something that is illogical, it is artistic, it's beautiful, can be filed under copyright. Okay. The next question is, where can I file the application for the registration of copyright? Now, there is only one copyright office in India. It is in Delhi, and the entire copyright work is filed online. There is no physical office, you do not have to visit the physical office in Delhi to file a copyright. You can just log into copyright.gov.in, which is the official website of India. You can just file your entire work online. Okay. How long I have to wait to get my work registered under copyright? Now, this is the best part. As per the government website, they usually say it takes around 30 days to get a registered certificate. The application can be filed within 15 minutes because it's an online procedure. But to get a certificate, it takes around 30 days. See, 30 days is a very good number, but at times because there is only one office in India and there are thousands of applications being filed in India. At times it takes much more number of days. So you do not have to get hold of the registry saying, hey, 30 days aapne kaha tha, it's not still done. It at times takes around 40 days, but still 30 days is what the website says. Okay. What is the term of copyright? Now, this is the best part. If you have filed a copyright, the life of copyright, that means till when is the copyright valid? That means it is till the author is alive, and 60 years after the death of the author, the royalty can be experienced. I mean, you can still get the royalty even if the author has died. So 60 years till his death anniversary, you can enjoy the royalty. The best example is Michael Jackson, right? We all knew him as a legend. He's still a legend, and his every work that he created, the music, the dance moves, everything has been copyrighted. And after his death, his family still earns the royalty from all the work that is still being commercialized and it is in public. Okay. Does the copyright require any renewal? No. The minimum fees that we are paying in the beginning is the only fees that needs to be filed to keep the copyright alive. So there is no additional fees for renewal, or there is no other procedure that needs to be done. Okay. So I hope copyright is quite clear to you. If you have any doubt, please put it into chat box and we'll be addressing the same. I think we have covered maximum of the content under copyright. So anything artistic, whether it's a painting, drawing, uh, literature work, your paper publication, everything can be copyrighted. Talking about paper publication, you need to know that you have been, like, whenever you decide to publish your paper with a a publication house, the biggest problem is whenever you decide to submit a paper, they send you a terms and conditions page. Now basically, how many of you have ever read the entire TNC? I think very few of you, because even when I install a software and I get a TNC page, usually I enable it and just send it out. Everyone is doing it. Why should I read? What is something special that I'm going to get out of it? So we usually don't read it. But the TNC, which is given to you by the publication house, has a has a IPR clause, which states that the work that you're going to submit to this website, to the publication house, is now on the property of the publication house. So we have the right to use, misuse, change, translate, or restrict other people from using it. So what does it really mean? Let's understand it with the perspective of a layman. Suppose you have a beautiful house. Okay, you took like months to create that beautiful architecture, and now you want to give it out on rent. So instead of just signing a rent agreement, you actually signed a paper which said that the entire house is now mine. So you need to get out. Will you ever sign a paper without reading when it comes to your physical property? No, you won't do such a mistake, right? But because we wanted to get our paper published, we did not read the terms and condition, and instead of just giving them the publication right, we actually gave them the ownership of the entire work. So if tomorrow you want to use the entire content of the paper to write a book, you cannot do that, because you will have to take the permission from the publication house, who is now the owner of your work. So please, let us see that we do not create this mistake again. First, file a copyright and let those people just take publication rights. Okay, that is what is the true, method of publishing a paper. Okay. The next topic that we are discussing is trademark filing. Now, copyright protected your artistic work, your expression of work. Trademark protects a brand's identity. That means if you want to buy a product or you want to visit a place, how do you know it is the original one or it is the authentic one? Basically, you recognize a product using its name, logo, jingles, taglines, symbols. These things provide an identity to a product, right? Now, let's take an example to understand. Suppose I'm taking a long drive, right? So it's a 200-kilometer drive. I'm suddenly feeling hungry. I will not prefer just visiting any restaurant on the way, right? I'll look into it that it's a good food chain, such that I can at least trust the food quality. Suppose I'm driving and I suddenly see a capital yellow M. I'll immediately recognize it as McDonald's, right? So that symbol has been protected by McDonald's to provide customer with the security, safety, and the recognition that this is an authentic brand. And it's a good food chain, it's a big food chain, and you can actually trust our food here. Okay, so every company, whenever they decide to launch a symbol or a brand name or a logo, they will file for a trademark such that no competitor company can use that similar symbol for copying or creating a delusion for the customers. Okay, so that is why you you will see TM or R mark on any brand name that has been protected under trademark. Few more interesting things are trademark like sound, smell, dialogue, voice, three-dimensional design. Now, even these things are trademark. Understand why? Suppose I decide to buy a perfume, right? I will not just check what brand it is. I definitely would like to check how good it smells on me. Because if I'm putting like 1500 or 2000 into a perfume, I would want to smell good when I, good get it on me, right? So every perfume manufacturing company, whenever they decide to launch an exclusive smell, see, I'm not talking about the usual smell like rose and jasmine and lily. No, I'm talking about the great smells and how you know that you are wearing a good brand when you smell good, right? So every good smell that has been exclusively manufactured by these companies, they are protected under trademark. There are different procedures to do that, and at that smell gives the identity to the product, right? Trademark protects the identity. The smell is the identity of the perfume, so it is also applied under trademark. Now talking about sound and voice, when we were kids, we used to watch Tom and Jerry, right? And even today, we still watch if it's on TV, right? The sound of the lion roaring in the beginning, that image that you can see on the left hand side, that sound is protected by Walt Disney, such that nobody else can use that sound without their permission. Even the movies which today play that sound has obtained license to play it. That sound is trademark protected, because even today if you hear that roaring sound, you'll think about Tom and Jerry. It is that effect of marketing which they have created with that sound. Okay, every cartoon character that you see on the screen or onto the product has been protected by trademark. Understand why? uh, See, if you many of you would have had the question that basically this is an artistic work, right? All the cartoon characters are artistic work. Then why is it filed under trademark and not under copyright? If you had that question, you're listening very carefully. Now, understand. Suppose I create a cartoon character, it is definitely going to be filed under copyright because it's an artistic work. It's a picture, it's a painting. But as soon as that cartoon character gets live in front of an audience and people start getting that product that image onto a product, like for example, if you have young kids at your place, like your young siblings or cousins, usually they start recognizing the product with the cartoon character. Like I have a young sibling, he's always like, I need Mickey Mouse water bottles, or I need Chota Beam bed sheets, or I need Minion what tiffin boxes. So every cartoon character starts getting linked to a product, right? Like for example, Marvel and DC. Many of us might be fans of superheroes, right? So whenever we buy a normal T-shirt, it might cost us 300 bucks. But as soon as it's bought from an original merchandise, like if we have a Superman tattoo or a sorry logo or a Batman logo, immediately the price of the T-shirt will rise from 300 to 1500. Do you know why? Because there is a character merchandising law which gets attached with the T-shirt. That means the person who created that character or the logo or the symbol is being paid royalty for the image that has been developed. Okay, because it is getting linked with different products. So that person who gets the royalty, we are not just paying the manufacturing cost of the T-shirt, we are actually paying the royalty for letting for buying a T-shirt with that logo. So every cartoon character, once it is accepted by the public and starts getting printed with the product, it gets a trademark of it. We we noticed this the importance, how much these people give the importance when we had a client who was dealing into chemical industries. Okay, now what happened was he decided to trademark the name Aquaman for his chemical products. Now, if you follow superheroes, if you follow DC, you know Aquaman is a superhero character created by the this huge media channel. What happened was, as soon as Aquaman was applied into the registry, DC came to know about it. DC is a huge franchise of superheroes, right? So they came to know about it that their character name has been applied for a trademark in a chemical field. They sent out a notice to remove the entire brand. They let our client know. See, our client was not known into this field of superheroes, so he was actually addressed with a letter informing him that this is an internationally recognized brand name and a character. You cannot use it without their permission, and the application has to be removed. So that is the importance. That is how much a cartoon character can, create an impression and how much violating it can create a problem. Okay. These are few of Indian famous trademarks like Amitabh Bachchan ji's voice, Sunny Deol's voice. Few of the celebrities even trademark their own name. Like the famous cricketer Sachin Tendulkar has his entire brand name trademarked. Now, can you tell me, can I trademark my own name? Can I trademark Pooja Menon? Actually, I cannot do that, right? Because he is already a brand. If Sachin comes on screen and he's like, you know what, I have started a water purifier company, you should buy it, it's excellent. People will trust him because he's already a legend and people trust him, right? So if he comes up on screen and asks you to buy a water purifier, there may be hundreds of people who will actually buy it. But if I come to your home and with the same water purifier, I'm like, you know what, this is a great water purifier, you might actually shut the door on my face. I might look like a saleswoman to you. That is the difference of these celebrities and me. So I as an individual cannot trademark my own name. But as an individual, what can I do? If I decide to write a book, I decide to start a website, I decide to start a company, I decide to launch a product, I can trademark the name of those things into different categories that I want. So if I have a book under the name, whatever I created, I can trademark the name. Okay. So that is the benefit of trademark filing. As an individual, if I create a work, a product, I can definitely trademark the name, but I cannot trademark my own name until and unless I am a brand. Okay. So I hope trademark is quite clear. So the next topic that we'll be moving on to is patent filing. So as we begin the session a bit late, I'm just rushing on to the next topic so we can have more time because I know many of you might be focused on to patent filing. Okay, so as we know that when we want to file a copyright, everything does not need to be logical. It's just an expression of work. So I can decide what my work wants to protect, right? So but when we talk about patent filing, it is completely logical and it cannot be hypothetical. Patent protects an idea, project, product, mechanism, working, and designs. So it cannot be a hypothetical idea. If you decide to file for a patent, the government will ask you two questions. Why are you doing it? And how are you going to do it? If you have the answer of how, you can file for a patent. Okay. Now, patent has been categorized into three categories. One is called the utility patent, second is called the design patent, and third is called genomically engineered plants. That means the people who work with plant extracts or DNA, RNA modifications. These things are called plant variety. Now, when you see, the best part about patent filing is you do not need a prototype for filing. If you want to file a utility or a design patent, I'll be explaining what these categories are. You do not need a prototype. But when we talk about plant variety, government will ask you to submit a sample piece of what you have created. That means if you have worked with plant extracts, they'll ask you for an NBA accreditation, that is National Biodiversity Act accreditations. If you're dealing with microorganisms, DNA, RNA modifications, government will actually ask you for the sample. So that is the only difference between all these three categories. In case of plant variety, they will actually ask you for sample, but for design and utility, they do not need a sample. You can just be very thorough with your document that you're creating and you can get a patent. Okay, now understand the difference between utility patent and design patent. Now this is a cup, this is a mug that I hold, right? Now, so multiple companies usually manufacture cups and mugs. What is the use of a cup or a mug? Uh, Maybe if I want to drink a hot beverage or a cold beverage, I can use the mug, right? So whenever I'm just changing the structure of a product, I'll file for a design patent. When changing a structure of a product can help me to achieve a task, I'll apply for a design patent. Now, while talking about utility patent, suppose I'm a very lazy person. Just suppose, okay? Suppose I'm a lazy person, and some people like to beat their coffee way too hard to get that frothed, a good coffee. Now I'm a very lazy person, so what I decide is I'll attach a stick here, attach a motor and a switch. So when I just switch on the motor, the stick will automatically rotate inside, and I'll just have to do is put a teaspoon of coffee powder, sugar, and water or milk into it, and the stick will automatically stir my the mixture and will give me, and by just adding milk, it will give me a frothed coffee. So what I did is I gave the cup an additional feature of automatic stirring, right? So whenever a product is provided with additional mechanism to enhance the feature, enhance the working of an existing product or a new product, it is filed under utility patent. So when I decide to file for a utility patent, government will ask me what are the components, how it's going to work, what is the benefit, what do you want to claim. All these descriptive matters are requested in utility patent. But when I talk about design patent, the government will ask me how is your product going to look and what are the components that is important to get that look into your product. That's it. That is how much will government will ask me. How it is working is none of the government's business. The government will only require how it looks, what are the components that you have used into the product. If I can explain that and the advantage of making that product, I can get a design patent. Now, utility patent takes a minimum of 18 to 24 months to get it granted, a minimum of. But a design patent, if you opt for, you can get it registered within 4 to 8 weeks. It is that fast. So you can have a certificate within 4 to 8 weeks, okay, at times. So that is why people can, but whenever you decide to do a project, you can actually think, does my idea fall into utility? Does it fall into design, or does it fall into both? You can think on that and you can opt for it. Whenever we talk about patent, usually people have this query, what all things can we file for a patent? Government of India has already defined what cannot be patented. If it does not fall into this category, anything can be patented. Apart from this, everything. Every country have their own terms and conditions. See, what is patentable or not, every country have their own rules. So if whichever country you're opting to file for a patent, you need to study their non-patentability clause. But because we are Indians first, it is mandatory for us to file a patent in India first. We'll go ahead with that. So these all things cannot be patented in India. Before moving on to this topic, we need to understand that there is a difference between invention and discovery. Now, suppose a product, a thing already exists on this earth or in this universe, and I just found it. Then it is called a discovery because I am not the person who created it. So if it is already on earth, I just found it, I can give it my own name, but I cannot ask you not to use it. That thing is called a discovery. But something that I created from the scratch is called an invention. So as per government rule, discovery of a scientific principle or a formulation of an abstract theory cannot be patented. Like for example, gravitational force. We all know Newton discovered it, right? So Newton can give it his own name, like Newton's law of gravity. True. But Newton can't come and tell you, you know what, I found gravity. So let's do one thing. Everyone stop using gravity and start floating. He cannot actually ask you to do that. So it's a discovery. So such things cannot be patented. Anything that has a scientific theory, it cannot be patented. Yes, because it's a discovery. Second, discovery of anything living or non-living substances. Like suppose you find a fish or maybe a plant or you found a stone. You can definitely give it your own name. So it will be like forever. But you cannot ask people, hey, look, this fish was discovered by me. So now you are not allowed to look at it. Right? Another is an invention which claims anything obviously contrary to well-established natural laws. There are some rules and regulations which are being defined and experimented and finalized by great scientists, right? Like for example, without an input there cannot be an output. Energy gets converted from one form to another. So you cannot come up with an idea which states that, you know what, I have an idea in which you do not have to give any input, but you can get so much output energy you cannot even imagine. Yeah, it's called magic. Okay, so it's a theoretical, it's something that is obstructing natural laws. So government will not accept it. If you have any device to prove it, that's a different matter, but it's just an hypothetical idea which is obstructing natural laws. Government won't permit it. Okay, an invention which causes serious prejudice to human, animal and plant life. So if you have invented something that is hurting, that can hurt humans or plant or animals, government won't permit it. But on the contrary, pesticides. Now we know what pesticide does, right? It kills the pest which harms the plant and destroys the agriculture done by the humans, right? So if you create a formulation of pesticide, the government will actually let you file the patent for the formulation. because it is actually helpful to humans and animals and plants, where by killing the pesticides, that is allowed. Okay. The mere discovery of a known form of a known substance. Now, what here? Still, the word discovery is being used. So let's understand. Suppose we know carbon, right? Coal, graphite, diamond. All these are isotopes of carbon, right? We already know that coal, graphite, and diamond are isotopes. We are taught from a very young age. Now, it is taking different forms of an existing material, that is carbon. So although they are different from each other, it is still a discovery because it is still existed on Earth and we just found it. But there is a beautiful field called nanotechnology, right? People have been inventing huge and beautiful things. Not huge, I think we should say small things, but with a great technology, right? Now, everything that is invented using nanotechnology, we know that they are using carbon nanotubes, like everything is based on carbon. That technology can be patented because carbon nanotubes, nanotechnology is an invention created by humans, right? So that is patentable, but isotopes like thing which is already existing on Earth, we just found it. It's not patentable. Okay. The mere arrangement or rearrangement or duplication of a known device. Now there is a device which we already know. We just decided to exchange few components inside it. Okay. So that is called just rearrangement. It cannot be an invention, and government can actually refuse to give you rights on it. So whenever you decide to patent something, you need to make at least 1% modification into an existing product and prove to the government that there is something different, something unique output or benefit by rearranging the components. Then you can file for it. Okay. A method of agriculture, like for example, see, India is an agriculture based country. If you find a method for sowing the seeds, or a method for harvesting using your bare hands, government won't allow you to file a patent. But if you design an instrument, like you design a robotic instrument for the surveillance of the farm, you design a drone instrument for putting the what do you call it, fertilizer or watering the farm. Yeah, these are the invention which has taken place in agriculture. Then it's an invention because you actually have to create an entire device to do that task, right? So that is an invention. Second is any process of medical, surgical, or curative diagnostic. See, even medical healthcare sector is always done for human benefit. So if you discover a method which is good for surgery or to diagnose a disease, that cannot be patented. But an instrument created to do the same, like for example, X-ray machine, MRI machines, or a scalpel or a knife, which can actually help the doctors, those things can be patented. Okay. A mathematical or business method or a computer algorithm per se. In India, a business idea, a pure computer algorithm or a mobile application, and a mathematical algorithm or a formulation cannot be patented. Okay, so if you're into the sector of computer engineering, you need to understand that when we talk about technology, it needs to have a hardware support. Otherwise, it cannot be directly patented. And if you're interested to file a patent, you can contact IPFID any day. They can help, the experts in the different field can help you out to find something that can be patentable. Okay. An invention which in effect is a traditional knowledge. So see, traditional knowledge means something that already existed. You just derived, use the same knowledge to present in the government. Like for example, the concept of using herbal medicines. Like for example, you used tulsi and neem, right? Like Ayurveda, the concept of Ayurveda or yoga or something like that, which is of a traditional knowledge, and you decided to use it into your component or working. It is called generic. You cannot file for a patent. Okay. So apart from that, anything can be patentable, and this is a very good number. 90% of the invention which is happening worldwide is filed on improvements. That means when you talk about a patent, usually people come and tell you that, you know what, something unique has to be done. Everything has to be exclusive, nothing before disclosed. It is not like that. If you decide to file for a patent, 1% is what government expects that is unique into your idea. So it can be something that already exists. You look at it and you think, you know what, this needs to be modified. And if I can make 1% modification into it, I can file for a patent. Okay. This is a good example which states that there was a time when people used to use gramophone to listen to music. Then there came a time of cassette players, CD players, Walkmans, and iPods. So all these instruments was used by a person who wants to listen to music. But somebody thought that if I want to walk on the street and listen to music, it is practically very difficult to lift a gramophone or a tape recorder and walk on the street, right? So somebody came up with the concept of Walkman. So you can just plug it and you can just listen to music and walk on the street with the weightless instruments. Do you know the invention of the design of a headphone was done by only a 14-year-old kid? So invention does not require qualification or age. It just wants somebody to look at it with a different perspective, and then you can file for a patent. Okay. There are patents which are very easy. There are patents which are difficult. And if you find 1% improvement to anything that already exists, you can file for a patent. Like for example, every day that you touch, the things that you touch is patented. For example, a pencil. There are so many different companies manufacturing pencil. Every different structure, like this is completely, cylindrical. There are pencils which are triangular. There are pencils which are hexagon. Every different design structures has been patented. The toothbrush that you use, every company manufacturing toothbrush files for a patent. The best example is the company Gillette. We all know what Gillette does, right? They manufacture razors. It's a huge company just manufacturing razors. They have thousands of patents filed. That company has 73% revenue from their IPR. They have a valuation, 73% valuation of the company is IPR. So they have trademarks, copyrights, designs, and patents just in the product of razor. See, for us, razor is of how much importance? Like 1, 2. Okay, that's it. Yeah, the ad shows very beautifully, but that is how much we have an importance for. But Gillette has a higher valuation. So every small thing that you see, every big thing that you see, like computers, laptops, cars, and motors, and everything, they have been patented along with small instruments like toothbrush and pencil and erasers and everything that you touch every day. Okay. So this is an example just to make you understand how a single idea can have utility and a design patent. Now, for example, we all know that now the coming smartphones will be all bendable and foldable type, right? So the patent of foldable and bendable phones are with different company, including LG. Now, Apple was very desperate. They were like, we also need to be in the race when foldable phones will come into existence, right? Although we'll be buying a patent license from other company, what can we develop which people would like to buy from us? So a very genius person came ahead and he was like, you know what? We should develop foldable mobile covers. Think, if suppose we come up with foldable mobile phones, it will bend and flex. Now, if we use an existing mobile cover, if it is made of plastic, it won't bend. So the mobile won't bend. So what is the worth of buying a bendable phone? But if we use a rubber cover, right, the elastic type rubber, if you try to bend it with the phone, it will bend, but it will start getting bulged from the side, right? You can try it. You can, if you have a mobile cover, you can just try and bend it and flex it. It will start getting bulged out and in from whenever you try to bend it. Imagine you have a 75,000, 1 lakh worth phone in your hand and a bad mobile cover. It will give out a bad impression. People change more mobile covers than mobile phones. We all know that. So what Apple came to know is they created a material which can get stuck to a mobile so comfortably that whenever it bends or flex, it will bend and flex, staying attached to the entire corners without bulging or stretching. I mean, it will stretch as per the requirement of the mobile phone. So that material which was used, the way the entire cover was working, was filed under utility because it's a procedure, it's a method of creating a material for a different purpose. And the cover, the structure of the cover which was prepared for getting attached to the different mobile covers was also patented under design. So they had a utility and design for a single concept. So this is how you need to think. Whenever you decide to develop a product, you need to think, can I have few features into the product which is unique and file for a utility patent? Or can I just design a product into an existing product and make it more beautiful or more equipped so I can file for a design patent? Both is possible if you just think. Okay. See, importance of design patent. Most people think that because it's quite, it happens so fast that people think that what is the importance of design patent? It's just a structure. It is not just a structure. See, when we file for a design patent, we are letting the government know that how important that structure is to the existing idea and what are the components that makes the idea unique and where it is being used is the importance of that design. Like for example, We all have seen our mothers or grandmothers stitching. Now, basically, they have a needle with the eye at the top end, and a thread is woven into it, and we can stitch it. An entire industrial revolution took place when the design of the needle was modified, and the eye was shifted from the top corner to the bottom corner. Every sewing machine that you see today has a needle attached to it, and the eye of the needle is inverted. True? Sorry, it is brought down. For every different type of clothing, a different needle was designed. See, the purpose do not change. It is for the stitching purpose. But for every material, the needle was changed, was applied under design patent, because the feature and the working is not changing. Only the look is which is creating the entire modification. So for cotton, denim, leather, wool, for every different type of clothing, different needles were designed, and every one has been applied for a design patent. Okay. A normal Apple phone has more than, sorry, a normal Apple phone has more than 200 patents. See, if you hold a mobile Apple phone, it is not just expensive because it's a huge brand. Yes, it is definitely a huge brand because of the innovative mindset. Apple company, the people invest themselves into making a product. Everything that you see in an Apple phone, including the cameras, the screen, the screw, everything, the ICs, the memories, everything has been patented. So these people work hard and their product is exclusive because of the innovations they do into it. Okay. So here we have prepared few Q&A which will help you to understand this concept better. Can any invention be patented after publication or display in the public? See, this is one of the error many academicians have been doing since, I think, decades. Okay. If you want to file for a patent, the idea should not be made public. Now, suppose you're researching into some field. If you make the idea public, the entire concept, the novelty of the idea is lost. So you cannot file for a patent. If you decide to file for a patent which is already in public, government will find conflict with your own paper publication and will, raise a query for patenting that idea. So please file for a patent first and then publish a paper or endorse it wherever you want, such that the novelty of the idea is protected. Okay. In which language can an application for patent be filed? See, because you're in India, there are two languages which is preferred by the government. One is Hindi, another is English. Usually the applications are filed in English, but even if you submit it in complete Hindi language, government will accept it. Okay. When I tell you that Hindi and English both are accepted, that means either it should be pure Hindi or it should be pure English. You cannot use the texting language. Like you want to talk in Hindi and write in English. That is not allowed. So this is something that, I know it does not need to be clarified, but at times, people can misunderstand. Okay. Is there any jurisdiction for filing a patent? Yes. See, there are 4 patent offices in India, and one is in Mumbai, Kolkata, Chennai, and Delhi. But every state has been, allotted a jurisdiction. Like suppose if you're from Gujarat, Chhattisgarh, Maharashtra, your entire application will be filed in Mumbai. If you are from the state like Chennai, Kerala, Andhra Pradesh, your entire filing will happen in the Chennai office. Okay. If you are from the east, like for example, if you're from Kolkata, Sikkim, or such places, your entire application will be filed in Kolkata. If you're from the top north, entire application will happen in Delhi. So government has defined the jurisdiction just to make the examination easy. So if you are people from different areas, like for example, I had a group of people, they were like, one was from Gujarat, one was from Chennai, one was from Hyderabad, one was from Delhi. So they were like, whose jurisdiction should we file? So government has already defined that the first applicant, that means whoever is whose name is written first, his state will be considered as jurisdiction, just to make the work much more simpler. Okay. What is the term of patent? If you're filing a utility patent, it is for 20 years. If you're filing for a design patent, the term is for 15 years. Okay. Now, does Indian patent give protection worldwide? See, there is no country which can provide you with a worldwide patent. Okay, whichever country you apply a patent for, the protection is granted in only that country. Like for example, if you decide to file it in India, nobody else can manufacture or sell the product in India. Like even if the product is manufactured in China and it is coming into India, you can stop that because still the selling is restricted. Similarly, if you have filed a patent in USA, you cannot manufacture or sell the product in USA alone. If you decide that you want to stop people from manufacturing in different countries, you have to apply for a PCT application and file patent in individual country to, wherever you want to claim rights on, with the government fees to restrict other people from using and manufacturing it. Okay. Okay. Does the patent office keep information of invention secret? See, there is a term of, like, there is a mandatory term after which the government has to publish your work, right? So after, till the work is published, it is kept in secrecy. Once it is published, the work is no more a secret, because everyone will know that this patent has been filed and it need not be copied because it's already a patented product. Okay. So whenever you do a prior art search or you hire a consultant, nobody will tell you that this is 100% patentable, because there is a huge gap. There is a gap of 18 months where an idea can already have been submitted, and there is a possibility, because it's not published, because it's kept under secrecy, it might not be published. So nobody can give you a 100% guarantee, but yes, the novelty is always appreciated by the registry. Okay, that's not even important. Okay. So, because we are talking about the valuation of patent, see, as I told you, you do not need a prototype to claim rights on your idea, right? So you need to know that there is a company called Vernetex. Now they are a group of 15 people. They have a beautiful office, and what they do is they just innovate. They just create ideas, file patent, and just license the ideas to different company like Apple and Facebook and Samsung and all these companies, and earn licensing money from them. They do not create a product, they just create ideas and let the company know, like, you know what, this is something that you should even do, and this can help you in bettering your products. Just by selling the idea, they earn millions of dollars. So this is some kind of a great business which US has already been doing. We as Indian can also look into it. Okay. This is why we need to patent. See, India is ranking 7th nationally, internationally, when we talk about patent. It's quite an impressive number, but count wise it is not. China is ranking first with 15 lakh patent a year. In a single year they file around 15 lakh patent. The second country is USA with 5 lakh 97,000. The first and second country has a gap of around 10 lakh patent a year. And India, even with a population of 130 crore and rising, we still just file around 50,000 patent a year. And from that 50,000, almost 60% patent is being filed by different companies outside India. Like for example, if Samsung or Google or Amazon files it, it comes into our count, but still it is not Indian patent. We have no right over it. Okay, we earn nothing from their patents. So basically, there is no race. If you tell about that there is so much competition in the market, there is no competition in the market. You can be an individual with multiple patents, a better portfolio, an innovative mindset, and build a better portfolio, get a better job, because you are an individual who can think innovative, who can build something innovative, which is what our country right now requires. Not just our country, every manufacturing firm needs a person who can think out of the box. And how can you prove that you can think out of the box? It's just with a patent application number. So build your profile, with IPR filings. If you are into software, have copyrights. If you are into technical fields, if you are into science background, file patents. It will help you so much with regards to your building a profile. Okay. So why IP5? I think I'll share my screen with Mukesh sir, who will be taking up the next topic. Why IP5 and how can we as a team help you in building a better portfolio, help you with IPR filing and all the procedures ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, ma'am. It was a great explanation, I would say. Quite fast also. Might be anyone having any doubt, those people can ask their question in Q&A session also. So I'll start with a further presentation, and I'll share my screen. Okay, my screen is visible now, I think. Is it so? One second.
So we cannot see your screen, sir.
One second. One second. Okay, now is it visible, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So again, very like good morning again. Now Pooja ma'am has explained you some brilliant concepts about patent, copyright, trademarks, right? But on the screen you can see anyone can do patent, right? If you are from the field of banking, if you are in field of political science, there is no limitation of a patent. I would just wanted to clear it, right? See, you are working as a research personnel, if and I would say that research theories cannot be patented or protected directly. You have to convert those research into a patent, right? So when story comes on an individual benefits or an institutional benefit, we need to understand how to convert, or whatever research we have did so far, so how to convert those research into directly a product or intellectual property. That is very important for us as an individual and as an institute. So just getting a patent is quite typical, I would say, because you need, just like in a legal case you fight people from people, you need a legal lawyer. Here you need a legal technical lawyer, right? A patent agent who has knowledge of both rules and regulations related to drafting and designing of a patent, and also the technical know-how, the technical crucialities of all the technicalities related to patent. So here you need a technical lawyer. So here IP fight comes into picture. Like here you can see we have virtual R&D team, idea hunting team, design team, and experts in multiple domains and work around team. Also we have world prior art team, paid and open database. We have legal assistance team. So all together we can say, like, if you have a if you have a research topic, if you have a problem to solve, we can convert into a solution, and then in an intellectual property very easy, right? So again, we know we can solve, but like you have a research topic, you have a innovative idea that has a value attached to it, like it may goes in crores or even millions. But it is important to understand, whenever you share these things to anybody, that should be within an NDA agreement, non-disclosure agreement, right? So once you have shared those ideas with us within an NDA agreement, our team will verify whether the problem statement you have shared is patent or patentable or not. If it is patentable, we will convert it into IPR, or we will help you to file those IPR directly. And also, if it is not, we will try to find out how it can be. Like, we will provide virtual R&D services related to this, and we will provide you experts who will be helping in your domain only, and then those research papers will be converted into product, and then it is again converted into intellectual property. So this is the basic process. Now again, when we talk about intellectual property related to institutes, so institute is a very crucial part where they want to have their ranking up, right? So in IP cell we always try to provide guidance to individual institutes, faculty for IPR related topics, right? Again, virtual R&D services provided to their projects. IPR portfolio is being developed for an institute where national ranking accreditation of the institute grows very easy, right? Also, some kind of expert visits are provided for personal consultancy, right? Again, so here we will try to find out how anyone's research converted into product and then into a patent. See, here on the screen, you are just watching a product, intravenous fluid heating system. First, I would like to explain the problem statement attached to it. Like in the places of Leh, Ladakh, and Jammu and Kashmir, where in at the time of medical emergency, you have to insert intravenous fluid to the patient, and if that intravenous fluid is very cold, it may cause hypothermia to the patient, right? So it again again it could be very dangerous for patient. So what was the problem statement? We have to provide heat to the intravenous fluid at a very low energy availability. So what we did, we help our workaround team started studying the problem, and found some studies was going on metal the photothermal effect of metal nanoparticles, where those metal nanoparticles produces heat by vibrating on the impact of electromagnetic radiation, right? So we created a chamber. On the inner layer of the chamber, we applied those metal nanoparticles, and we, with the impact of controlled electromagnetic radiation, they produces very controlled heat for intravenous fluid. So the whole process comes into a device, and the problems get solved, and this problem and the product goes for patent. So this is a kind of example we have explained. Again, a new example. See, I would say sometimes complete process becomes a problem statement. Suppose for whenever you have gone for blood testing, they have taken your blood and they have spread those blood into a glass plate, right, for proper thickness, and they took that particular glass plate to the microscope to understand how many disordered blood cell or sickle cell are there present in the blood sample, and so they can predict the kind of disease you may have, right? The whole process what we did, we converted into a single product. Like here on this screen you can see that particular from this device has to be placed on your hand or a shoulder. This device will scan for your veins, blood veins, and it will take out the blood at required angle, and then it can throw this blood on a circular disc. Here on the screen you can see on this red disc, and then red disc will circulate while a axis, and the circular photographic image sensor will try to find out how many sickle cells are available on your blood sample, and then it will also predict through artificial intelligence, and then it will send data to the laptop. You can understand what kind of disease may be present in the particular blood sample, right? So again, in the next example, like in this pandemic situation, here a device was created, actually thought by our client Dr. Vishal Verma. And what he wanted to have, a person can have its grooming, like all things he used to have in a salon at home only. So we developed this particular product. Like here a person has to go and sit down at this platform, right? And then this particular whole device will come down, holds your head and try to find out what are the images or what are the best looks of yours can be done, and you can select those images from this screen, and then it will start grooming you. It will start trimming, it will start massaging, it will start trimming the beard, right? Everything it will do, and you will have this that kind of face. But this is under development right now, but this is something we can do. Actually, we can convert particular this concept into a product, and then this product can be converted into intellectual property. Then you can start your development related to the product. You can reach to multiple associates people, like who are developing 3D printing people, right? So that can be done. Okay. So next, here a college, Sri Shankaracharya Institute of Engineering Technologies, has did a patent with the help of what we can design, right? They have developed a laptop stand. Now on again, from working from home, you need sometimes like an extra screen you can work with. So here a laptop stand is provided, where you can place your laptop here on, once again, laptop here, and you can have a new screen with this, which can let you explain even some more things related to that. Even if you have a client in front of you, you can just rotate this screen in front of them, and wanted to, whatever you wanted to show them, you can show, right? So this kind of things we are doing. We are converting those research, your whatever research you have, into a product, then into patent. But this is I wanted to explain, and this is very easy. You need to learn how to do that we can help you within the IP fight, right? So this was our presentation, and now if any people have any kind of questionnaire, you can ask with Pooja ma'am. Pooja ma'am will address everything, right? Hello, Pooja ma'am.
So if anybody has any question, we can start with the same.
Yeah.
Do we have any questions in the chat box?
Actually, I don't think chat box is open.
Students, if you have any questions, kindly discuss our chief guest.
Do we have any question related to IPR? Anything? Anyone?
Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning.
Hello. Yeah. Is animal pictures are to be patented, or if it taken by a photographer, do they need to patent the animal pictures so they can't use any other person?
Okay. So the first thing is that if you're clicking a photograph, it will fall under copyrights because it's an artistic work. So all the images that you see, that is maybe if you follow National Geography or Discovery, all the images that you see, even if they are of animals or plants or any aquatic life, they will copyright the image which is exclusive. And those images go in lakhs of rupees when you sell it to different markets and including website building and all those things. So it is always copyrighted, sir, not patented, because patented it has to be a product, and photographs cannot be converted into a product. If you create a camera, you can file a patent, but for all the photographs that you click using the camera, it has to be filed under copyright, sir.
Thank you, ma'am.
Good morning, sir, and good morning, ma'am, and good morning, all of you. In this today really nice morning, I want to have some questions in this intellectual properties rights. For these reasons, I wanted to ask you, ma'am, how long time it is need to get that copyright you applied already in the intellectual properties?
Okay. So if you apply for a copyright, basically government takes 30 days for examination. And if there are no further queries, they'll issue the certificate, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, do we have any more questions? Dr. Rajlakshmi ma'am, are you there?
Good morning, sir and ma'am.
Hello. Good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, where I can find patent info, sir?
Sorry, I couldn't hear your voice. Sorry. Where can I?
Where I can find patent information?
Okay. So every country has to publish the patent database. So if you are trying to find whether your idea is innovative or not, or you want to file for a patent, so there are three databases as a beginner you can look into. If you are looking for an Indian patent, you can look into ipindia.gov.in, which is the official government website of India. Second is Google Patents. If you're a beginner, you should start with Google Patents, google.com/patents. If you want to check multiple international patents, you can go into WIPO search. That is World Intellectual Property Organization's website. You can go into it and look into it. So I think that those are the three websites you should start with. So you can get all the information there.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, we are waiting for more questions. If there is any, please do ask about IPR. Dr. Rajlakshmi ma'am, are you available there?
Yes, sir.
Okay, yeah.
So no more questions from student side, sir.
Yes,
So
we
it's
can.
very clear.
Okay.
Now I invite Mr. Hariharan to propose a vote of thanks.
Thank you, ma'am. Good afternoon to all. It's my privilege to have been asked to propose a vote of thanks on behalf of Department of Microbiology and IPR cell of Ratnam College of Arts and Science. I thank Ms. Pooja Menon, founder of IPFIDE Research Amplified Gujarat, who despite her busy schedule has found time to grace this occasion. Thank you, ma'am, for the wonderful session. And a big thank you to Mukesh Mishra, CEO, founder of IPFIDE Research Amplified Gujarat. Thank you, sir, for an excellent presentation. I express our sincere gratitude to our CEO, Dr. R. Manikam, for permitting us to organize this event. I also wish to express my thanks to Principal Dr. R. Muralidharan for providing guidance and support. I must convey my heartfelt gratitude to Dr. P. Srinivasan, Head of the Department of Microbiology, for organizing this event. Thank you, sir. I extend my sincere thanks to Dr. M. Rajalakshmi, Innovation Ambassador for IPR and Technology, Transfer for coordinating this event in an excellent manner. Thank you, ma'am. I thank all my fellow colleges for their support and encouragement. Finally, I could like to take this opportunity to thank all the participants for our interest in joining this program. Thank you all.
Thank you, Hariharan. Once again, thank you all. The feedback link will be shared in the chat box. So students kindly fill the feedback and get your certificates. Thank you. Once again, thank you all.
Thank you, ma'am.